I really like this meme.
Frame data.
Frame data is the way we measure the speed of attacks. Games run at 60 frames per second, and knowing this, we count how many frames it takes for an attack to start, connect, and recover.
Frame advantage.
Relating to frame data, each attack has recovery frames. If you recover before your opponent, you're plus. If they recover before you, you're minus. Anything else is neutral or just safe.
Hit boxes.
Hitboxes are the invisible areas of effect every attack has. Bigger hitboxes means the attack hits a very large area and vice versa. Complementary to hitboxes we have
Hurt boxes.
hurt boxes are the invisible areas that correspond to your character's body. When the game detects that a hitbox has come in contact with a hurt box, that registers as a hit and the attack deals damage. Bigger characters didn't have bigger hurt boxes, which makes fighting games fatphobic.
Hold this.
When your opponent blocks your attack, they are left immobile for a couple of frames. This is called block stun.
Block string.
A series of attacks that force your opponent to block for an extended period of time. These are very powerful because your opponent loses control of their character and sets them up for future problems.
Happy birthday.
In games with multiple characters, a combo that hits two characters at the same time is called a happy birthday. This is a joke because giving them two characters is like handing them a birthday present. If they get all three characters, it's a Merry Christmas.
Negative edge.
Fighting games register attacks two ways, pressing a button and letting go of a button. When you let go of a button to throw out an attack, it's called negative edge.
Footsies.
A popular fighting game playstyle revolving around mid-range pokes and baiting out attacks. Some people say this is the definitive way to play fighting games, but those people need showers.
Spamming projectiles.
Another fighting game playstyle, this time revolving around throwing projectiles and keeping opponents as far away as possible. When a character is built around this playstyle, they are called zoners or, more accurately, bullshit.
The best way to play.
The exact opposite of zoning, this playstyle revolves around constantly pushing and pressuring your opponent with attacks. This is one of the most common ways to play, and it can look pretty stupid, but that's because it is.
Why? Mock this whack-ass mix-up.
When you achieve knockdown on your opponent, timing an attack so that you hit them the moment they get up is called 𝘔𝘌𝘈𝘛𝘠. This is because fighting game players are weebs. Oki is Japanese for wake up, and 𝘔𝘌𝘈 is the word for attack. Literally, wake up attack.
Meaties.
Relating to Oki, timing an attack so you hit them during the end of an attack is called meaty. It's supposed to maximize frame advantage, and is another word for 𝘔𝘌𝘈𝘛𝘠. But, of course, meaty is a spectrum.
Oh, that was so meaty!
Picks.
When your opponent blocks your attack and the attack recovers fast enough to leave you plus, going in for a grab is called a tick, or a tick throw. It's a very strong technique, and you're a bitch if you do it.
Mix-ups.
When you attack your opponents such that they have to figure out which way to defend, it's called a mix-ups. You can mix up high or low, left or right, or strike and throw. Making your offense ambiguous is a great way to farm rage quits.
Bread and butter.
The basic bitch combo that everyone that plays a certain character has to know. It usually deals pretty good damage, doesn't use resources, and is simple to do relative to higher damage combos. If you're not sure if you'll like a character, try out their B&Bs.
EX reversal.
Some games give players choices on knockdown to counter Oki, and some games even let you attack. And if your opponent fucks up their Oki, you can always
Anti-air.
Any attack that hits an opponent in the air is an anti-air. Any attack can be an anti-air, but some attacks are specifically anti-airs.
Better anti-air.
Jumping up to meet your opponent in the air is called an air-to-air. This can sometimes be better than an anti-air because it shows you ain't a bitch.
Chip damage.
Some games have your opponent take reduced damage when they block an attack. This is meant to disincentivize blocking because you might end up worse off in the long run, especially in games where chip damage can kill. It also gave us this.
Counter pick.
When your opponent picks a character with a clear weakness and you pick a character to exploit that weakness, it's called a counter pick. If you do the exact opposite of this, it's called a leffen.
Teching.
When your opponent goes for a grab, you can break it with your own grab. This is called teching. Teching is also used as shorthand for actively recovering out of combos in game.
Unblockable.
Any attack, combo, or setup that cannot be blocked is unblockable. These usually require you to attack someone both high and low at the same time, but some games have moves or setups specifically made to be unblockable.
Skill issue.
Any combo that can kill a character from full health is called a touch of death. In other words, if they get touched, they die.
Yummy these nuts.
The Japanese word for read, it is slang for predicting what your opponent is going to do and countering accordingly. Only weebs really use this one though, normal people just call it a read. If you do a read that works when it shouldn't have, it's called a nume.
Whiff.
When you miss an attack entirely, it's called a whiff. This is because missing an attack brings you close enough for your opponent to catch one.
1v1 me. Fox. Final destination. No items.
When your opponent picks the same character you pick, you can legally beat them to death with hammers.
Get wrecked.
When you throw out an attack and your opponent hits you before your attack comes out, it's called a counter hit. Different games reward counter hits differently, but the common denominator in all of them is getting posted on Hi-Fi.
Don't you want a rematch?